Hey yo, what up? What up? It's Lamek with Selah Sports TV back at it again. Chill. Well, as a continuation of our uh Ryan Garcia B sample fiasco, uh Ryan Garcia cheating fiasco. Um, we're kind of off that, and now we're on to the the fallback, right? Because as we see and as we saw, uh a lot of people that we thought were boxing fans, turns out they really are not, right? Turns out they really aren't. Or stay with me, or they really are boxing fans, right? But they're for sale. Hmm. I have I have my suspicions, right? Um, but fuck all that. Let's get into it. Ryan Garcia um had a fight with Devin Haney. We all know he came out victorious. He got a narrow decision, right? He was able to get Devin Haney on the canvas several times in the fight, three official knockdowns, right? Um, but somehow, this kid, man, this guy, Devin Haney, who was in there with a bigger guy, a guy who was loaded with PEDs, somehow he was still able to go out there, not only get up off the canvas, but he took the 12th round. You know what I mean? Uh, See, things like that speak to character, and that's a microcosm of what we are. And by we, I'm talking about Americans. That's a microcosm of what we are. See, they not like us. They not like us. Like these cheating cocksuckers. You know who they are. It's always the same group. It's always the same fence jumping group. Always getting caught cheating. Always getting caught with their hand in the cookie jar, right? But let's look at them for a second. Let's really look at these people. Think about think about this. Think about all the things we've been through. All the well documented things we've been through in this country. Like we've been through it, right? We've been through it, the good times and the bad times. Not only have we been through it, but we thrived, right? We were able to build, like most of the culture that you look around and see, we had our hand and foot right in that shit, right? Creating it. Rock and roll, jazz, uh, fashion, right? Hip hop. How about that? I mean, so many things. Too many things to name. My point is, we always bounce back. We're very resilient. You won't hear this shit a lot. You might hear my black is beautiful and melanin and all this dumb shit. But no, I'm talking about tangible shit. Tangible. I'm talking about getting sprayed with fire hoses and going and creating the internet. Right? I'm talking about getting marginalized to a degree where, you know, just getting really worked over, right? But still being able to thrive within it, right? It's like a rose growing out of concrete. People have tried and tried and tried, but always able to bounce back. Now let's look at that Ryan Garcia Devin Haney fight. This motherfucker did all of that, right? Blew the weight, gave himself an IV when he wasn't supposed to, right? Several PEDs in the system, before and after, right? Before and after the fight, all of that. But somehow, this guy who is not the strongest puncher, right? His defense is a little leaky, right? Didn't fight a smart fight. Didn't fight a safety first fight, which he should have. Fought the totally wrong fight. He was still able to get up and take that 12th round, which made that fight very close. Very close. And it matters because without that, it that fight could have easily looked like Ryan Garcia pulled away from him, right? With the 3 knockdowns. But he didn't. He didn't. Like we're not looking at the right things. We're not looking at the right things, but there's a lesson to be learned for Devin Haney. It was a very, very, very harsh lesson that he learned. Money is not worth everything, right? Money is, I won't say it's the root of all evil because it's not, but the love of money is the root of all. It could be the root of many evils. I'll say that, right? The love of money is definitely the cause of many evils. So I'm not gonna, I mean, he learned his, like him going through that was enough. There's no need for me to pile on. Right? But there's a lesson there. Now let's look at these other people, right? Let's look at these motherfuckers. Now I just described what we've been through and how we responded to it. You didn't see us packing our bags, right? You ain't see us packing our bags, trying to sneak into their shit show, shithole countries, right? We didn't do that. We stood right here, 10 toes down, like men. Now let's look at them. First sight of trouble, these are people that will pack their bags, throw their bags over the fence, and climb over the fence break into somebody else's house because things got a little rough for them at their house. I'm talking about the people that have not the wherewithal to fix their home. No, they don't think to fix, you know what, we got to stand 10 toes down and fix this country. No, they didn't do that. They left. They packed their bags and left. Right? They packed their bags and left grandma back there in all the fuckery. This is who they are. Fucking cowards. So it's nothing for them to cheat. Right? It's almost like, I don't know if you guys know the history of like Japanese history. Like I'm talking about like feudal Japan, you know, samurais and ninjas type shit, right? And I'm just telling the story. I'm not here to vilify samurais or the ninjas. I get why both existed, but the samurais were men of honor, right? They were men of honor. Honor was like the main thing. They would fall on their sword before they allowed themselves to be dishonored. Right? They would mutilate themselves and get themselves out of here before they would walk away in dishonor with their head held down. They'd rather die. Right? These were fighting people. Not just fighting people, but governing people. Right? The people looked up to them. The people looked up to the samurais for protection, right? Now, as in many cases, political systems become corrupt, right? So I'm not sitting here trying to paint the samurais as the good guys or the ninjas as the bad guys. No, that's not what I'm doing. But we can't deny that the samurai, one of the main staples of a samurai is honor. Now let's look at the ninjas. The ninja didn't give a fuck about honor. right? The ninja wanted you to have your back turned. Their whole thing was being sneaky, right? The last thing the ninja was concerned with was honor. That would be a disadvantage for him. That would mean he would have to fight the samurai on an even playing field. You see what I'm getting at? And they couldn't do that. They know they couldn't do that. They know they couldn't fight the samurais on an even playing field. So what did they do? They mastered the art of uh I'll just say being sneaky. Right? Being sneaky. But I get it, Hollywood, Hollywood, they romanticize things. So the ninja, they look cool. They look very cool. At least the representations that we see. In most cases, a ninja in feudal Japan were not dressed up in black with their faces covered, and that wasn't the look. You know what the look was? It would just be a guy just next to you wearing regular clothes. They were spies, basically. They didn't walk around. They didn't come out. Now at night, yeah, of course, when they did have, big troop movements, shit like that, of course, you have on your tactical gear. But in most cases, the ninja, he got his business done in a clandestine way. So the disguise would be in plain sight. If they walked around like ninjas, like the shit that we think of when we see ninjas, if they walked around like that, they get wiped out. Like in no time. They would get spotted and identified by a samurai and killed on the spot. That's how that would go. So what they do, they snuck around. It's kind of familiar, right? On a much lesser scale. We ain't out here fighting each other and killing, at least not yet. Not yet, right? We're not out here murking each other and, not like that. Not yet. Not yet. But, yeah, man, we gotta really look at this. This is a big fucking thing. This is a big thing. Like when things happen, and it's not even just about this. Like, it could be anything. If God is opening your eyes to show you something, right? It could be good, bad, whatever. But basically, he's throwing something in your lap. He's showing you something. That's up to you to recognize and take advantage of it. He's not gonna throw this thing. He's not gonna throw you this bone, right? And use the clouds to start writing letters in the sky to send you messages. Like, you gotta kind of get with it. Right? You gotta get with it. Now let's rein it back in. As it pertains to boxing, when you get all these guys, they made all this money from the sport. All these huge fucking boxing channels, right? They made all this fucking money from the sport, claiming to be fans of the sport, right? But all it took, claiming to want a clean sport. Like, for all we know, these guys, they've always vouched for a clean sport, right? No, we disagree on many things, but we thought we had that in common, right? We might disagree on, you like this fighter, I don't like this fighter, whatever. And sometimes that shit goes too far, right? But this cheating, there's no wiggle room for this. There's no out. There's no way to reconcile this. No way to reconcile this. I'm not gonna do it because I mean, most of these motherfuckers, I don't watch their channels anyway, right? But I know some of you guys do, and I'd be very interested to know, like, what were they saying about other people who were caught cheating, right? What were the takes sounding like then? And I'd be willing to bet they didn't sound nothing like what we hearing now. Nothing. Nothing. So this is a moment in time that we got to record. We got to record this, and we got to take note of this, and we got to remember this, because these people would sell you out in a heartbeat, right? These people would, they'd set you up in a heartbeat. They'd set a few extra shekels, and you would be sold into Egypt somewhere. Because, yeah, that's what I think it comes down to. That's what I think Ryan Garcia is that. I think he's that narcissistic, right? And he really believes his own bullshit. He's a social media guy. Absolutely, I think he would line these guys' pockets with a few bucks, right? It's a few bucks to him, but to them it's like it's a bag. I totally believe he would do that. Allegedly. I'm not saying he did. I believe he would. And I believe that's what happened. How else do you explain? How do you get a grown man to do a 180, right? To be vouching for a clean sport. These people know that their channels are public and they don't care, right? But I get it. These motherfuckers got families, and when somebody's giving you a bag like that, oh, he feed my family, like. But that's exactly why you shouldn't do it. See, that's exactly why you shouldn't do it. That's exactly why you have to be connected to something. Because see, the way I think about things like this is, A, you dishonor me by trying to buy me off, dude. Like you think you can buy me? You think you can change my mind with your money? You think you can change what I'm saying with your money? And then for some shit like that. You got caught cheating, but you want me to go out here and lie to people and tell them that you didn't, basically. And you think that low of me. Think about how low somebody has to think of you to even approach you with a deal like that. Like, it's amazing the things people will do. It's amazing. Think about how low the impression they have of you to even approach you. Like, oh yeah, he'll do it. Yeah, he'll do it. I'm gonna get this motherfucker this, and he gonna do it. He'll lie. Yeah, on some Ted DiBiase type shit. Cause everybody's got a price. You can't approach. You can't approach everybody with that. And as far as the family shit, I got a family, but guess what? I gotta teach my son and my daughter how to keep their back straight. Right? I gotta teach them how not to bend the knee. I gotta teach them how to stand upright, even when the devil is trying to fucking tempt you. I gotta teach them to do what's right. I gotta teach them how to not follow a dollar, because somebody could make a paper airplane out of a fucking dollar and toss that shit off a cliff. And what's gonna happen if you chasing that shit? It's not about chasing no dollars like that. I get it. We all, they're not like us, right? But it's very interesting. We're gonna remember this. We're gonna remember this because Ryan Garcia, he's trash. Like, he'll come and go. He basically he made his move, right? He made his move. He's made his money. He don't give a fuck about the sport. He don't give a fuck about the sport. So he'll be in the sport and out of the sport in no time. But these cocksuckers still gonna have to be here, and they're gonna have to face the music, and they're gonna have to face all these people that they've been lying to. Right? Very short-sighted what they did. I'm shocked. Like some of these channels, I could see if it was a smaller channel. I could see if it was a smaller and struggling channel. You couldn't get me with that shit, but I'm sure some there's some people with small channels who, yeah, they could probably get paid to lie. I don't condone that shit, but I understand. But when you basically have built up cachet in the sport. Some of these guys are pretty close to becoming mainstream, right? Actually got friends that are boxers and friends in the industry and all of that, right? But they leverage all that. They leverage all the equity they built up with their channels. It's not about whether I like the channel or not. It's not about whether I think he's a fucking goofy fucking clown from outer space or not. It don't matter how I feel personally. What matters is you did the work, bro. You did the work and built this huge fucking channel, and you're gonna leverage it over some shit like this? Over a few extra bucks. And I hope it was worth it, man. Anyway, that's all I got. If you liked the video, bang off on that like button one time. Peace.